Well, happy Friday, everybody. I'm Nick Slavic, proprietor of the Nick Slavic Painting and Restoration Company. I'm also the host of this show, Ask a Painter Live. It's a weekly live Facebook show where I use my over 2 decades as a craftsman and an entrepreneur to answer any of your questions you have. Now, for homeowners, this is a chance for you to ask any question about a professional painter from a professional painter that you ever wanted to ask. As simple as it gets, I can answer it for you. Now for professionals, you know why we're here. We're gonna talk marketing, entrepreneurship, apprenticeship, coding science, all that good stuff. And today, particularly, we'll probably end up talking a whole bunch about technology and equipment because we are here at the Graco headquarters. In Minnesota, we are in the Silicon Valley of paint sprayers. We have everybody here. Graco especially. So we're here today. I did the whole factory. I met a whole bunch of awesome people. I'll tell you all about it. I'm going to go through a few things first, and you guys can ask any question you want to. We have an entire room here. I have Dan Johnson here with me. He's been my liaison and my handler to make sure I didn't run off into a machine and hurt myself or anything. But we have an entire room here surrounding us of the professionals. Everybody who knows everything in this building is sitting right in this room. So anything you ever wanted to know, somehow we can answer that for you guys here. Sprayers, coating science, technology, all that good stuff. So thank you to the PDCA, the Painting and Decorating Contractors of America, for underwriting this show. They hand me a bunch of content. They allow me to do stuff like this, and then they spread the content out to other paint business professionals so that we can raise the standards in our industry and attract other young people to this profession. Couple events I want to mention as well. Nick May, a paint business entrepreneur from Colorado, will hop on live with me in a little bit if he's watching. I'm a little bit delayed today because we got in one of the coolest conversations I've ever had. Was it the president of Graco?
Yep.
Was there with all of us there having lunch, and we went deep on the industry, perspective, everything else. So that's why we're a little delayed today, but I was not about to stop this guy from talking. So I had such a good conversation. Nick May has an event called Crank. It's for paint business entrepreneurs. The next one is in the fall here. If he's watching live, he'll come do a live with us, and he can describe what it is, and we can get some word out about that for anybody. Also, the PDCA has some forums that they have during the year. They have residential forum for residential painters, craftsmanship forum for people who, like me, are craftsmen and interested in the science and the business of craft. They have the commercial forum as well for commercial painters. The residential forum is actually in Minneapolis, not far from here, in about 2 weeks. I'm bringing my entire leadership team there. The heavy hitters are going to be there. Jason Paris, Mike Katunas, Nick LaGrasso, Torlando Hakes, everybody that's vocal on social media. A large portion of them are going to be there, and we're actually going to be doing a bunch of presenting while we're there too. So look forward to that. I believe there's going to be some shop visits. We're going to all get together. It's going to be a good time. So if you need more information about that, it's called AST, Advanced Shop Talk. It's a residential forum for the Painting and Decorating Contractors of America. Any questions you guys have, start listing them down below here, and eventually we'll scroll back up and we'll start answering some of these questions. We're going to hit on some of the coolest things that I saw today and some things that I learned today, and meanwhile we'll hop in and do some questions here. So also, if you guys like this show, kindest thing you can do is share it. Get it to other paint business entrepreneurs, get it to other craftspeople, and let's start raising the standard in our industry. So first thing I want to mention is Graco is actually having a giveaway. If you go to their Instagram page, I believe it's going to be on Facebook, Twitter as well. Go to Graco. It's the 60th anniversary of Graco inventing the portable airless paint sprayer. And because of that, they're having 60 days of giveaways. Every week they're going to give something away. This week, we got the handheld Ultra. They're going to be giving one of these away too. So there's a link in the bio on the social media accounts there, and you can enter to win one of these guys. And every week, I believe you guys are going to be giving away something different, culminating with, what was it, a $395? $395 PC. So that's awesome. So be looking on social media for that. So the factory. Obviously, we're here. We're going to talk about paint sprayers. We're going to talk about tips and things like that. But my biggest takeaway, I should say, Dan Johnson, thank you so much for being here. What's your role with Graco?
I'm a product marketing manager, global product marketing manager. So getting with painting contractors, understanding their needs, and developing new products to help you in your industry, in all painters' industry.
Well, you're doing the Lord's work because we need it out there. So. So besides being an expert, Dan was also, like I said, my handler to make sure I didn't jump into any of the robotics that were out there on the floor. The factory here is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So most companies, somewhere in their core values or mission statement, say, oh, we like quality and we have good company culture. But what I saw today was basically the highest realization of what you can do with a large company in that. I've been in a lot of manufacturing facilities, not only for this show, but for my work, doing industrial painting. And they tend to be dingy, they tend to be dirty. There tends to be a lot of grumpy people doing unorganized things. And it is amazing, the efficiency and the quality. Everything you can tell in that back room is tailored towards making sure you guys put out a good product. And the people are just amazing. I mean, we had a... How long do you think, when we walked through today to talk to all those people, what do you think the average number of years of service here at Graco was?
It's people worked here a long time, so I mean, it isn't uncommon to see someone 25 years. I mean, 40 years is around the building. We ran into a guy today that had worked here for over 40 years. I mean, our president's worked here for over 40 years, so it's a...
And the president started off as... What in the company?
He swept the floors.
President swept the floors and had lunch with him today, now the president of the company. And you could tell that definitely the company culture is consistent throughout everybody we met. So
yes, absolutely.
We were trying to find somebody with less than 20 years of service.
Yep.
We found a guy. There's this young, fresh-faced looking guy in this little cubicle on the factory floor, this little office there. And we said, how many years of service do you have? He said 6. And I'm like, God, we got you. We found the one new guy. And he's like, yes, but my dad works over here and he's got like 37 years of service.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, all right, we get it now. So no, it's so impressive. And I knew there was going to be a lot of cool stuff to look at, but the amount of robotics that you guys have are amazing. And the automation and stuff. I had no idea what I was walking into today. So
Graco's all about, it says that on the wall right there, are, people watching can't see it, but it's about proven quality, leading technology, and that's every element you saw today was what we wanted to define that and show that we have proven quality in every aspect of what we make and create, and we lead in technology. So that's our mission statement and what we definitely pursue every day.
Oh, it was amazing. And just simple things like we can talk about, on a 10,000 foot level, it's a good company culture, and yes, we want quality, but you have to see. I wish every painter could come in here and understand that 390 or that air assisted airless machine that he throws in the back of his van and clunks around there. It's like the care that's taken making one of those things. We should all be more thankful for the machines that we get. The most impressive thing, small bit of information that I took away, was that every single sprayer gets tested before it gets out. Everything
Leaving our factory gets tested.
So
every sprayer.
When we first walked into the factory, I don't know if this is by design or not, but you have one of the most impressive large striping machines ever. It's got a seat, it's got wheels, it's got computers and everything right when you walk in, and it kind of sets the stage. And I think we saw it being tested, and I'm like, well, of course you would test that thing. I mean, that's almost a car.
Yep.
But when we were walking down the line, we got to the X5s, we got to the handhelds. Every one of those is tested too.
Everything leaving our facility is tested for.
It's amazing.
And it's important to us because we understand that this tool is what helps you guys finish your jobs and complete your customers' projects. And so we take that very seriously, and we take that seriously. So we want to make sure we have the highest quality, and we want to make sure we're testing and making sure we're delivering what every painting contractor who buys Graco expects: quality and a product that's going to last.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I know the words aren't going to convey it, but if anybody ever gets a chance here, we took a bunch of pictures. We're going to see what we can put out there, and when we do, it will do it justice. It won't do it justice like seeing it in person. It's just the most amazing facility, and the robotics and the automation and everything aside, the company culture here is something that all of us should sort of strive for. It was super impressive. So, okay, besides the factory, low pressure tips. It's something where I mentioned to most of the people I talked about today, or I met today, that I get a lot of stuff, and painters get a lot of stuff. Yeah, this is for a large industrial sprayer, I assume. So I get sent a lot of stuff. A lot of painters get, their reps come to them and say, hey, we got the newest, coolest thing ever. It's going to change your life. Yes, it costs more money, and it's harder to get, but do this. And we get it, and it's like, okay, it's just a newer version of something we already do. But low pressure tips, truly, you could tell a difference in the field right away. It's something different, and it's something that affects a large portion of our business. So what should we know about low pressure tips from Graco?
Low pressure tips are a new technology that we just launched. Yeah. And we just launched in 2017, in early 2017, and it's really a game changer for the industry. It's RackX low pressure tips were launched, and really what they provide is the ability to spray it up to half the spray pressure someone would be used to spraying with a RackX tip, for example. And that gives several benefits. The first is less taping, so there's less overspray because you're spraying at half the pressure, up to half the pressure. The second one is your equipment lasts longer because you are spraying half the pressure, you're not working it as hard. And your tips last longer because you're spraying at half the pressure and you're not working it as hard. So really it's it's a big technology that we developed and launched in 2017 with RackX fine finish low pressure tips, or FFLP, and we expanded on that in 2018 here and launched RackX low pressure tips, which are sizes all the way up to a 31 thousandths orifice.
Which is huge.
So we have, I believe it's 48 sizes.
48 different tips.
48 different low pressure tips. So it's so we have a wide range and available in every size that anyone will need.
So one of the most important things, and something that I glance over because I'm in some ways your typical painter, is that we normally associate the green tips with fine finishing, but make sure that FFLP versus LP, fine finish low pressure, is for your interior kind of stuff, your thinner stuff, your enamels, your things like that. The low pressure is just a low pressure. It's not necessarily fine finish. So when we're running through our supply stores, when you see a green tip, it doesn't necessarily mean just those super finicky, sort of nice interior tips. Just make sure you're checking these out. I know that 2 days ago I was with one of my crews on a charter school, and we were doing a bunch of experiments to see what tips would work the best. And we keep going back to low pressure tips. We're outside, we're spraying super heavy, unthin, unstepped on, high-end acrylic enamel, 100% acrylic enamel, and that stuff, normally you got to crank that pump all the way up, you got to get a huge tip, and then the overspray billows around you. And it was amazing how much time and prep that we could save by not having to plastic 10 feet out of the ground away from there, and plastic 10 feet over the roof because the overspray would billow over the, we did great prep, but it was just super efficient, and barely any overspray coming off that house. And we're spraying, we're doing siding outside with production, you know?
And it gives you a beautiful finish. It's really easily blendable. The minute you spray it, you can see the difference.
And this is, rarely do you get sort of win-win stuff, but something that's more efficient usually wouldn't produce a finer finish. But with this stuff, I know we have completely converted my systems over, airless and air-assisted airless systems, to fine finish low pressure and low pressure tips. And not only does it sort of save the paint, less overspray, it actually does a better job, which normally you don't get a lot of those. Normally you have to give up something for that, and it's actually something that's changed the way we do business.
Saving paint is a big aspect of RackX low pressure tips. The less overspray means you're going to use less paint, so it goes further. It's more efficient, and your systems are going to last longer. So it's a beautiful technology we've launched.
And lasting longer should. Another thing too, you said lasting longer, so that's another thing too that's also valuable, because the typical painter will say, I don't want to spend $20 on a tip. It's $20. You're just getting that little thing for $20. But also they'll use an inefficient tip and waste extra gallons of paint on a job at $48 a gallon. You know, so it's sort of penny wise, pound foolish at some point.
Yeah, if you're using a worn out tip, you're going to be using more paint and putting more paint on the wall, and that's going to cost additional time. So it makes buying the right tip and using a tip that's not worn out is very important. And low pressure tips will deliver longer life, a better finish, longer equipment, and using less paint.
And what's cool is that I saw this walking through the office and they grabbed it for me. We're using it as a demo here. I just think it's cool to see something that I have, piles of these things in my little racks and thinners and things. Then you see this thing hanging out. It's cool. They brought me through one of the first people I met, Rob Kinney. they introduced me to him as the guy who came up with the low pressure tip. So I met the dude who, I know a team makes this stuff, and I
Yep,
know that's all
absolutely.
a collaborative effort, but somebody told me that this is the guy responsible for this, and I was like, we're getting a picture together. So
Yeah.
thank you to him, and it was kind of cool to put a face to a name and then to see stuff like this. So
Yeah, we have a large team of engineers here, engineering team here, and Rob is an important part of that. We have a big team that develops this technology, so it takes a lot of people to bring this to market, and so yeah, absolutely, it's a great technology.
but Rob took all credit for the final finish. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Hvlp. Something that you said you guys introduced recently, the Finish Pro. We have one behind us here. Let's see if I can, maybe I'll get on mine. I'm in the way of this guy here. Okay, so I'll bring this a little. There we go.
Yeah.
So, Finish Pro Hvlp. I've used Hvlps for 20 years now. Tend to be a little finicky. They do have their place. I was very interested to hear that, again, along the lines of, hey, here's something new. Is it actually going to be different? Is it actually going to change a painter's life? The first thing you mentioned about this...
It unplugged when I...
No worries. Please give it a second here. Okay. So
Smart Start is a great technology that we just launched. It allows for the unit to shut off when it's not in use. So traditional HVLPs, they run all the time, no matter if you're using it or not using it. Our new Finish Pro HVLP 9.5, all you have to do, it's on right now. All you have to do is pull the trigger and it starts up. When you let go of the trigger, 10 seconds it'll actually shut itself off. So it has a 10-second delay, and after 10 seconds, it'll shut off. You can go back to listening to your radio. Your system's going to last longer, and you don't need to listen to the unit run. So, great new technology developed so that you can work easier on the job site.
that's super cool. What's interesting is that the first thing you mentioned, you could have just said that, and I would have been fine. You mentioned there is no check valve on that cup and gun.
So that's another. So we launched our Flex Liner technology on our Finish Pro HVLP systems, and Flex Liner is a liner that actually collapses as paint is sprayed. So now you have the ability to turn an angle and spray in any direction because there's no down tube in this. It's just one single liner that actually squeezes as it sprays. Because there's a liner, there's actually no check valve in our system. And no check valve means you can finally store your HVLP gun laying on its side because you won't see paint drip down that line.
So on the typical, like, I use a lot of my HVLPs, for whatever reasons, a lot of the oil varnishes and the clears I use pair perfectly with HVLPs because we do them in smaller quantities. It seems to work mechanically with the guns. So when we're doing a job site, at the end of every day, you get the solvent out, you clean it out, and you got to take apart that check valve, and there's that tiny little clear mushroom of plastic that's the actual check valve in some of these things, and there's some tiny little parts in there, and you take it all apart, and you lay it out on a nice clean white rag, and you come back the next day, and that part's always gone. Like a fly landed 3 rooms over, and that was enough wind to knock that thing. You know, that's all the HVLP I've ever used. So to get rid of that alone, that to me is sort of a game changer because you get there the next day, you don't have parts of your check valve, and then production stops because of a 2-cent piece of plastic like that. So that's huge. That's huge.
The other thing that we introduced is actually turbo control. Okay, so when the unit runs, I didn't show you this earlier, but when the unit runs, you can adjust the spray pressure. You can actually you can actually dial it down. So if you are spraying your clears and your coating that doesn't need the performance, you can actually turn down the pressure and get the performance that you need for the coating that you're spraying.
So I assume, is there still the the different size needles and?
Yep.
Okay, so this adds a whole bunch of adjustments then to it. You can fine tune that super fine instead of just changing out the needles, which is basically you can have some air adjustments, but that's really cool to actually change the speed of the turbo.
Yep, and our Edge 2 Plus gun actually allows for toolless needle removal. So when I remove it, I can take the air cap off, and all I have to do is pull the needle back. I don't know if you can see this, but pull the needle back and unthread the nozzle. And after I unthread the nozzle, that nozzle comes out. And then we have a little slide on the top of the gun. When I press this over, that whole needle just came out. So now I can replace my needles and nozzles. Very simple and easy. So I'll put it back real quick. So you take the needle and nozzle, press it into the gun, press that over. We have a little spring in this design.
Because anybody who's had an HVLP for longer than a few years, you notice that you get the plumber's wrench out a lot because the finishes stick to it, so they always have the marks from the pliers on the outside. So that's cool. You can do it with your hand.
You know, and I think, you know, it's nice to be able to adjust we've heard from contractors that they appreciate the ability to adjust the needle and change out the size. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, cleaning it is just as important, and taking out that nozzle quickly and easy and putting back the same nozzle in. Having the ability to quickly clean it is a nice feature that they appreciate.
Absolutely.
Dan mentioned too, on that gun, the fluid path is straight out of the cup to the needle range. Competitive products out there, you've got to clean essentially the whole gun.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah, it's a great new technology from Graco. The Flex Liner, the Smart Control, the Smart Start, the Turbo Control. We really changed the game in HVLP when we launched last year.
It's a super call come through. So when we walk through the factory, there's a part where raw metal comes in through one side, and then it comes out as this thing. And you brought some pieces from the factory here too, just to kind of illustrate that. When you guys say made in America, like it really is like all made here in America.
Yeah, I mean, just a simple part for one of our large electric sprayers is one of the gear trains of our large electric, the Advantage Drive. It actually starts out as a long piece of steel, and then gets machined down to a smaller slug. It's hobbed, and the gears actually get put into the part, and they walked out to the production line because our production line is about 200 feet away.
Exactly.
And this is the finished part that's going into sprayer. So we do a lot of machining in this facility, and so not only do we build, we machine, and we create a lot of those critical parts so that we can control the quality and make sure that it delivers the results that our customers expect.
Yeah, and it shows. I mean, this is obviously super technical versions of quality control, but then it's just as simple as testing the stuff before it goes out too. Yep. It's like, oh yeah, that's really helpful too, because it's kind of like the final check. So all right, I think I'm gonna roll through and see if Nick May's watching. He might be able to go live with us. If not, we're gonna take some questions here, see who's talking about what. All right, Sheena Skluzacek, thanks for watching. Chris Shank, Nick Sebald, Dustin Zapancic, my good friend from up north in Canada. Timo Ziegenbein, good friend from Germany. Adam Fox, thanks for watching, another really good painter. Dustin, been looking forward to this show. Something interesting is Dustin Zapancic is one of my best painter friends. He runs a super high-end painting outfit up in Vancouver. Dustin mentioned that he sent one of his guys here to learn how to be a spray tech or to be a repair tech.
Yep.
And I believe we're actually in the room where he was sent.
Yeah, this is the training room.
This is the training room. So Dustin, your guy was sitting here if he did actually attend, if he didn't just fly to Minnesota and hang out for a few days. But this is the room that he got all his training in. So I thought you'd enjoy to see that. And is that something that contractors can do if they want to come here and learn about sprayers or how to repair them too? Is that can a contractor do that?
Yeah, so we have several. We have 2 levels of training right now. The first one is our basic training, where contractors and distributors can go through general maintenance on our endurance blowers, so pumps and repairing guns. So it's more of a basic training. We do offer an advanced troubleshooting training that's available to our distributors as well. So
okay, yeah. Which is interesting too. The president of your company, right before he left, he mentioned that you guys. I mean, obviously this is outreach for contractors and improving the field of painters. But he mentioned that you guys do over 10,000 events, or have done 10,000 events in the span of a year as outreach to painters.
We have a large sales network. We have a large sales network, our sales team around the world. Yeah. The world class. They're really every day they're working to demo our products for for end users around the world. So I mean, it's a powerful team that we have, and it's awesome. Yeah, it's fun to participate in a lot of them.
Yeah, and as we've been talking about, all the Brazilians, Bautarde, my friends down there, you've been to Brazil?
Yep.
Doing it. I mean, a lot of people here have been traveling around the world in support of Graco, so it's a super good network, and you guys are certainly interested in getting out there and helping painters. So.
Well, and we want to learn. We want to learn how to do better. So it's a constant pursuit of quality and bringing new technology like Hvlp and like our Ultra handheld to painting contractors around the world. One thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
Okay, the first technology we talked about was the FFLP RackX low pressure tip technology.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The second thing we talked about was flex liners.
Oh
okay?
yeah. Yep.
Both of those are on our new handheld that you first mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Our new Ultra handheld uses the same RackX FFLP tips, and it's the exact same flex liner that's used in the Edge Plus gun that's right behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Edge 2 Plus gun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm happy to see that, especially when cabinet painting is such a hot thing now.
Mm-hmm.
With your HVLP, you could do some of the fancier movements with your hand until you reach about halfway,
Yeah.
and then you'd have to either fill it up or stop. So with this, you can invert that thing. You can do. I mean, in my test, it's been a great thing, especially with some of our. I think we have 3 machines now, the handhelds in our stuff, and they've been wonderful to work with. So
Great,
that's a nice thing. Let's see who else is. John Harrell made it. Hey, Nick and Dan, thank you for
Hey,
watching.
John, thanks.
CF Painting. Mike Wojon, he's a painting contractor from Cannon Falls. Thank you for watching. Alan Durkin, Jason Wolf, Terry Liuski, Rita, thank you for watching. Ricardo Amada, Julian Detry, Alan Durkin. Why won't this fast forward? Alan, this is a live show, my friend. You'll be able to fast forward in a little bit here. Ricardo Amaldo, hello from Wales, United Kingdom. Thank you so much. Mario, Rita de Clasia. I'm Brazilian. I'm a painter. Yeah, thank you, everybody. A bom dia to everybody down there.
Thanks for joining.
I love the support, and we talked about your plight down there. On every time I post something about all my beautiful spray equipment, the big 695 and all this other stuff, and the Brazilians they think I'm doing that to make them angry because they have a little harder time than us getting it. But you guys do have distribution down there, and actually I'm connected with somebody that you mentioned on Facebook who is your guy down in Brazil. Yep. So certainly it is my interest and it's their interest to help you guys in any way. So let's keep the conversation going for sure. So
and to find our distribution, you can always go on our website at graco.com. We have a link, find where to buy, and you can find a local distributor near you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Andy Betancourt, thank you so much. May Rahman, thank you. Kevin Wooten, another awesome painting contractor. Can Decorators, thank you for watching. Ty Staler, Mary Koslerich, client and friend of mine. Josh Uhas, that's my Graco rep.
Hey, Josh.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the same thing I say to my apprentices. You better be on your lunch break. No, Josh is awesome. I got to see a part of your customer service here. You guys had kind of call areas where people had their big computers set up. They were taking calls from people, helping them. They had manuals pulled up. You guys also had like cutaways and pieces of equipment up there where they can help people on the phone with that stuff. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, A+ customer service is a really big mission of ours. Being there for our customers, any step in the process. If they have a question, our customer service team is there to take care of them. If they have a technical question, we have a technical team here and available to answer those questions. We really want to provide the best customer experience. So we have a great team of people that do those activities for all the customers calling in. We yield a lot. We take a lot of phone calls.
So I feel bad. I've never had the experience of that because Josh is so helpful. Nothing's ever got tossed over his wall. He's running interference on your whole company. I'm like, hey, let me talk to one of the nerds in the scientist rooms up there. And he's like, no, I got you, Nick. Just stay down here. You're okay. Don't bug those people. So no, it's been good. Josh he's actually been in my shop doing training with my whole company. So it's been a great asset to me. So Ricky Johnson, another awesome painter here from Minnesota. He was at the the Gathering of Minnesota Painters. Hey buddy, Ty, thank you for watching. Rodrigo, thank you for watching. Andy Chadwick, good friend of mine. Rita from Brazil. These tools are top notch in Brazil. They already. Oh, then it kind of drops off. Sorry about that. David Cook, Josh Boutwell, Parker Johnson, apprentice of mine. You guys better be done for the day watching this or on your lunch break. It's a little late for lunch. David Cook. David Cook, 25-year-old sprayer and going strong. I would agree. I have a collection of kind of this random hodgepodge of sprayers. A couple Gracos, one I got at a garage sale, one I got from an old painter, and they're all weird little machines that, I think I sent pictures of them to Josh, and Josh is like, where are you finding these? I haven't seen one of those in 13 years, but they're awesome. I mean, I have one sprayer that's probably 15 or 16 years old. We cleaned the living daylights out of it. We've never had to do anything to it. We've replaced the hose for safety reasons, but other than that, it's our oil primer gun, and it's just a machine. It's just old dependable, so...
There's a lot of sprayers that have been working out there for a long time, a lot of years. So it's always fun to see the old machines and the equipment when you go into the field and see them in use,
It's and a lot of times you can only see the shape because they're so covered with white paint. You're like, that looks like something interesting. You can never read the numbers on it. But Jeff Davis, thank you for watching. Joe Burmeister, another Minnesota painter. Logan Burnett, thank you for watching. Efren Medina. I know he does super high-end fine finishing, and he's an awesome painting contractor. Love following him. Armando Simpson, thanks for watching. Chris Kubish, New Prague relative there. John Regan, Chad Marion, another good Minnesota painter down my way. Robbie Smith.
A lot of Minnesota guys.
It's Minnesotas and Brazilians.
Yeah.
Robbie. Danny Airy, awesome painting contractor. Jamie Ross, thanks for watching. Nick May. Nick, if you're still on, we can go do a live and we can talk about your painters event there. John Regan is from Birmingham, England. Adam Davis. Michael Wilfong, sorry I'm late. On exteriors, are you using LP tip with only enamels? This is something we actually talked in depth here. Now, these tips, if I get the history right, FFLP came out and we started using them inside, and they were the green tips, and they were, this guy out again. So all of us got used to seeing these, except it had an FF in front of it. Then came LP, correct?
So
just the regular low pressure tips.
Yeah. So first our FFLP tip came out, and those were available in fine finishing sizes, smaller sizes, and they were available from about a 20 thousandths tip, 620 I think was the largest size, all the way down to a 108 I think was the smallest size that we have. Yeah, and so we recently launched in 2018. We launched Rack X LP tips, and so this is the expansion that really adds on additional sizes all the way up to like a 731 is our largest size in low pressure tips. So now you can use it not just for fine finishing. Low pressure is for any application for 31 thousandths and below.
The other difference is to tell them apart is that when you go to the LP tips, it goes in odd tip sizes.
Yes.
It goes
Oh,
21,
yes.
23, 25, whereas the fine finish, the FFLP still uses the
even
even
sizes.
sizes.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, that's another
Same
good thing
technology.
too.
Same
Yep.
technology.
It's a good thing to remember because we're actually working on a charter school now. And, when I normally bring my tip collections with me, we experiment because the weather, the coating, the person putting it on, the machine, everything has to account. And we find ourselves basically have switched over to these. And when we were outside spraying with the low pressure tips, it's just the same thing we were talking about. We could do only the prep and masking that we needed to. We weren't making billowed clouds of paint around there too. But they are not delicate tips either. They're production tips. We were producing out there, but just with it was just a better production. So
and running with the thing to remember that when you have a low pressure tip is turn down your pressure. Some guys forget to turn down the pressure, so if you're not going to turn down your pressure, you don't see the benefits. So make sure to turn down your pressure, and you'll see longer tip life, longer equipment life, less overspray, and you'll be able to save paint.
Yeah. So Michael Wilfong. If you have not tried them out, try them out. But remember, when you're walking through your paint store and you just see the pile of green tips, make sure you differentiate between FFLP and LP, and the numbers will help you, because if you come in, say, I want a 517 FFLP, there probably won't be one. There'll probably be a 516 and a 5 or there'll be even or odd numbered versions
From
of
a
it.
14 and below.
Exactly. Yep. 14 and below for the fine finish. Yeah. So if you're looking at numbers that don't look familiar, like all the other tips you've ever used, you're probably doing the LP or the FFLP. So just be able to check. But I will say that these do not be under the impression that a green tip means interior fine enameling. There are LP tips out there that are pure production tips, and we're putting them out into the use, and they are super efficient. Adam Davis, tell Dan I said hi.
Hey, Adam.
Danny Airy, great info. Wasn't aware of LP versus FFLP. And you know what, Danny? Danny's very interested in furthering the trade too, so he's always a learner. But he's me too. Even when we were discussing this morning, when I see a green tip, my knee-jerk reaction is always to call them FFLP, disregarding the fact that recently LPs have been introduced. So it's very important to differentiate the two then. So
And give them a try. I mean, for a little investment, you can use them on your same sprayer that you're using and get all the benefits of low pressure technology. Mm-hmm. So it's a great technology you can try on your existing equipment.
Okay, Dave Cook, best tip for spraying products like Smart Prime. Tried low pressure 312. I may have spoken a few colorful verbs in the spits and clogs. Not sure it was wrong tip for the product. Spits and clogs are going to have way more to do with the coating. You should strain that before you do that. If you still get spits and clogs after that, you may be reactivating and loosening some stuff in your actual machine. So to eliminate variables in that process, David, try straining your paint. Make sure your pump and all your lines are clean, and then give it a shot. But as far as in my experience, the tip has almost nothing to do with clogging. It's what goes into the tip that clogs it. Generally.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get clogged. Maybe if you're going to have problems like that, maybe the other thing to do, other than strain your material and try to clean up your filters, is maybe you go to a little bit larger tip size. You can try like a 314, one size up from the 312 that he's using. So that'd be another recommendation. So,
and what's interesting is I mentioned the products because some of my favorite interior enameling tips, and I assume if you're doing a tip like a 312 with Smart Prime, you may be doing interior, maybe priming woodwork, priming cabinets, things like that. So one of my favorite tips circulates around 310, 311, and 312. So those are, and I don't normally get clogs unless I have materials that are just chunky or something that's been sitting there. So is the feed going through?
I think it's stopped.
it says live in the.
I lost it here and they lost it there.
Uh-oh.
Now it's just showing.
It says live 3. Yeah, it's still going.
Huh. Okay, we'll proceed and act like it's still going. It hasn't given me a low signal. Jade Earhart, another good Minnesota painter. Sam Reuter, painter. Pat Coy, Kevin Davis, thank you for watching. Pat Coy, does Graco have a trade-in program?
No.
Of your
So
equipment?
we have national promotions that you can take advantage of, and if you go to our website, depending on the particular product, you can see if there's a promotion on it at this time. Yeah, or talk to your local Graco rep, or attend a local pro show and try to see what's going on at your local pro show.
Antonio Ferreira, Hvlp, thank you for watching. Jamie Pint. Josh. Brian Himes, Chris Shuck, Jose Saleas, thank you for watching. Clint Sparks. Mike Leduc, another New Prague native. Mary Jo Haig, New Prague native. Austin Dingus, Ryan Trury, awesome Minnesota painter as well. Hvlp Santos, good afternoon, Nick, from Souvenil. Nice to see you. We've been talking about actually trying to do something in Brazil, so it's very exciting. Hopefully we can get down there and get some excitement going about our industry. So Mike Pote, John Busick, awesome paint contractor from California. Jason Broyles, old Army friend of mine. Bruce Gamma, I really appreciate the comments, guys. Sean Davis, great show, Nick, extremely informative. I literally just bought a 490 today.
Awesome. Thank you for your business. We appreciate it.
I'm taking full credit for that, and I'm assuming it happened after you saw this live show.
Yeah.
So. No, that's awesome, guys. Diego, Dustin, awesome. Sending our guy has proved to be a really great asset to our business. So Dustin was the guy who sent one of his craftspeople here to learn how to be a.
We got a
tech.
great training team. So feel free to.
Oh, this is a super impressive room too. We got all the equipment back here. We got tablets around here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you guys are preparing for a class here. We got name tags out and all sorts of cutaways, and this is really cool. I could spend a lot of time in here. So, Ricky Johnson, I'll be looking into the tech classes. I learned a hard lesson this week about routine sprayer maintenance. LOL. I'm glad you could laugh a little bit, Robbie. Editon, thank you so much. Chris Shuck, I've made the switch to Graco from Titan a few years back. Love my Graco. I'm looking at the 9.5 Hvlp soon.
Awesome, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's different. Certainly try it out. I mean, it's got enough features where it's worthy to give it a try. So, Robbie, just put a new pump in my Ultramax. Thank you so much, Mr. Nascimento, Bruce Gamma. Graco is doing an excellent job here in Brazil. That's good
Awesome.
to hear.
Appreciate
That's really
that.
good
Thank
to
you.
hear. Rick Skluzacek, Christopher Riggins, and Christine. And we may have lost the feed, so we will. I still see some comments coming through, so maybe it's my end here. Josh from Spain. Love my handheld. John Harrell, Christopher Riggins, Joy. Thanks for watching. Armando Simpson. John Harrell has been on the FFLP tips for a while now. Love them. I couldn't agree more. Ryan, thanks for watching. Pat Coy, what would be the purpose to have spray control on an HVLP gun and machine? In the shop, it gives you another way to dial in your sprayer perfectly. It's no more is it a shop vac where you turn it on and it just goes 100%. It gives you something else to dial in your fine finishes. And if you have an eye towards quality, then it helps you pursue that.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you extreme control. HVLP really allows you to dial down to you can dial down to a pencil size spray fan. So, but also all the way up to a full featured spray fan. So it gives you the control that you need for spraying intricate jobs like cabinets or built-ins or staircases or railings or things like that. So that's really the benefit of an HVLP system and technology.
Okay. Paul Rafferty, Luis Texeras, Bruce Gamma. Graco is #1 in sales in Brazil.
Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it.
Irani, thank
Appreciate
you.
everyone watching. It's awesome.
Yeah, really. Especially the diverse crowd we got
Yeah.
here. So fun to hear people chime in from all over. Paul Rafferty, just in from work. All right, that's good. Chime in, Paul, if you got any questions or comments. Ryan and Jamie Moore, another bunch of great contractors. Ryan, he's an absolute learner. He's on the boards on social media all the time, helping people improve their processes. And yeah, you would absolutely love this place, huh? Hvlp Santos, November is coming. Yeah, hopefully we can do something down there in Brazil. So Megan Reynolds, is there a kit Graco sells to take apart my 9.5 gun?
We sell a couple kits actually that are available, and maybe we can post them. We'll post them for that comment. We sell a couple brush kits to really get into the right areas to clean out your gun. So we'll post those couple kits here after this.
Wonderful.
Post.
Heath McCullough, thank you for watching. Dave Hernandez, Ricky Johnson. I used the Service Tech phone line for the first time this week. I couldn't get my 695 going, and I messed with it for 30 minutes before calling. 5 minutes into the call, I was back up and going. Saved my day. I'll never go away from Graco after my experience with them.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we have a big tech team. You met them all upstairs, and
Super impressive.
and they've been around for a long time, so they've seen a lot of the questions that happen, and they're there to support people that are using our equipment.
Oh, that's awesome. Dominic, thank you for watching. And Jeff DuPont. Jeff DuPont, another awesome contractor. So, all right, folks, my feed may or may not have been in and out. If we did lose it, I'll see if I can recover this and post it later. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, go to Graco's social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Look for a link for their 60th anniversary of inventing the the portable airless paint sprayer, and they're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff. Enter in to win that. Any final words? Oh, thank you for the PDCA for doing this, for underwriting this program. We absolutely love it. Thank you to everybody here at Graco, not only for the awesome lunch we had, awesome breakfast, but for the tour, and truly, even as a business owner, walking through that factory floor and seeing people with 20 or 30 years of experience and dedication to this company, I'm going to bring a lot back to my own company, you know, when I think about company culture and things like that. So, final words from Graco?
Loved having you.
Oh,
Appreciate
man.
it.
You guys are the best.
And
It's so fun here.
thanks everyone for watching, and we appreciate your business. Appreciate you tuning in, and if you have any questions, feel free to post, and we'll be active on this answering any questions that you might have. So we're here to support you, here to give you the customer service that you expect, and the product quality that you expect. So appreciate it.
Awesome. So obviously, if you need anything as far as paint sprayers go, you're not going to find a better group of professionals than these people. So Nick Slavic for Nick Slavic Painting Restoration and Ask a Painter Live, thank you guys for watching. If you like this show, share it. It's the kindest thing you can do. And thank you for allowing me to do this. I do this so that we can raise the standard in our industry and start attracting some more young people who are willing to get into this to help us raise the standard. So everybody have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.